All right. Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Chakwadash. Giving double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Peace and salutations to the Akim, the brethren out there on the highways and byways pushing this truth in 100% sincerity. And peace and salutations to the few and sincere sisters who believe in this gospel. So I want to entitle this lesson, Babylon is about to be obliterated. F what you talking about. Babylon is about to be obliterated. F what you talking about, right? Because we're living in the end, right? Just to put it plain and clearly, we're living in the end of Babylon the Great. We're living in the end of Esau Edom's kingdom. We're living in the end of this eon or this age, right? And, you got a lot of people out there who are just really lost and don't know what's going on. And their hope is in this place. Their hope is that this place is, going to last forever, right? As you see, I'm pretty sure everybody's noticed this, that the fuel prices have gone back down, right? And with fuel prices going back down, that gives people a little bit more of a sense of comfort, a little bit more of a sense of security, right? But what does it say? What do the scriptures say? The scriptures say, when they say peace and safety, then shall sudden destruction come upon you, right? The book of 1 Thessalonians, roughly paraphrasing. So at the time when you're in your most comfort, that's when things are going to really happen. That's when shit is going to hit the fan, right? And, we it's ultimately of the Lord's timing of when these things happen. Because I remember when I was in Columbus and I did the lesson with the brothers in Columbus, we kind of talked on that, where we said that, we get excited when certain things happen. We get excited when certain events happen, right? And then, it might die down a little bit, and then something else will happen and we get excited and it might die down a little bit, right? And it's really just, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah, testing our faith, because somebody who is weak in their faith, they look at certain situations like Iran launching missiles on Israel, and then that situation dying down, they be looking at that like, man, what's going on? And then we go to war with Iran, and then that kind of dies down. But now it's back to speeding up, right? Because when it first started, that's when gas prices went up. And then, now gas prices are going back down a little bit, so people think that they're in comfort. But somebody with weak faith, they might be like, man, what's going on, man? All this stuff keep on happening, but it died down right after, man. Is this what we really believe in, man? Is this really the truth, man? What's going on? And you had demons that'll come to you. You had demons that'll come to you and try and put those thoughts in your head, right? To try and make you feel like, man, this ain't the truth, man. All this stuff you listening to, all this thing you a part of, man, that's a lie. They don't know what they talking about. That's what a demon try and come to you and say. But these are things that you got to rebuke. You got to rebuke these demons. You got to rebuke these thoughts, right? You got to, you got to have understanding. You got to have understanding what the Lord could be doing at this moment. The Lord could be testing faith of the brotherhood, the ministry, right? The Lord could be testing your faith, seeing if you really believe or not, seeing if you truly believe. Because, right, you fall out and then boom, now everything really start happening, right? And you didn't fill out already. Well, it's over for you by that time, right? But let's go ahead and get to the scriptures. It's the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 10. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction, right? So we got to depart from this place. What it means to depart from this place is talking about departing spiritually, right? Departing mentally, right? Not having your life to invest it in Babylon the Great. Not having your mind to invest it in Babylon the Great. What I mean by that is, let's go here. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 7, and verse 31. It says, and they that use this world is not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away, right? We got to use this world, right? We got to use this world for our daily bread. You got to have somewhere to live. You got to have food. You might want to engage in a few leisurely activities here and there, right? So you gotta do what? You gotta have a job. Your family's still here. You might have kids. You might have a wife. So yeah, certain particular things we have to engage in. We gotta participate in, because that's just the world we live in right now, right? At the same time, you also got to understand and know that all of this stuff, all these things, very, very soon and at the drop of a hat are going to be gone, right? I did the video the other day with the GTA 6 thing, with GTA 6 requiring an ID in order to play online, right? That's a precursor to what we've been saying with the MOTB. When the MOTB is fully mandated, you got to be willing to drop everything and be a pilgrim on the earth, right? That's what the scriptures say. You got to be a pilgrim on the earth, right? I'm gonna get that one. I'm gonna get this one, and I'm gonna get that one. Right, this is Hebrews chapter 13, and I'm going to start at verse 12. It says, wherefore Yahushua also, that he might sanctify the people with his own blood, suffer without the gate. Let us go forth, therefore, unto him without the camp, bearing his reproach. For we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come, right? This is not a continuing city for us, right? This is not a paradise for us, as the scripture in Micah 2 and verse 10, it said that this is not our rest. We have to depart from it, right? So again, at the drop of the hat, we got to be ready to give everything up that we have. We got to be ready to give up our worldly possessions, luxuries, and things like that, and ready to be on the move. We got to be ready to give up all of these quote unquote normals that we live in, driving a car, going to the grocery store, being on your phone watching YouTube videos, right? All of these things that we have right now, you got to be ready to let that go and give that up at the drop of a hat at any time, at any moment, right? This is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 16, and I'm going to start at verse 38. It says, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims on the earth, right? So in these evils that are about to come upon the world, right? But chiefly Babylon the Great, aka here in America, we're gonna have to be pilgrims on the earth, meaning that, Yahushua said, he that I'm about to paraphrase this, but I'm about to butcher this scripture. But when Yahushua talked about the parable of, the man being on the rooftop and, it says, don't go back to your house, right? Go not back to your house. Keep going, right? Don't turn back. This is the mindset that we're going to have. We got to have this mindset right now, but we're going to have this mindset even that much more in that day, because, when all hell breaks loose, when shit really hit the fan, wherever you may be, you got to be ready to go from there. You might be hours away from home and shit hit the fan, and your flesh is like, you got to go back home. You got to get this. You got to get that. You got to, you got your woman at home, your kids at home, your car there and everything like that. You got your Xbox and your PlayStation and shit, right? No, you gotta go in the spirit and go by faith and keep moving and move in the direction that Yahweh wants you to move in, right? We can't turn back in those days, right? Because we turn back, number one, that's like turning back on the Lord. It's like turning back on Yahweh Shah, as if to say, what was in this world was that much more valuable to me than his word, right? And what the Lord has in store for us. No, we gotta be his pilgrims. We gotta be moving, right? We gotta be ready to move around. We gotta be ready to go from one spot to another at any time, at the drop of a hat, right? It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51 and verse 6. It says, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense, right? It says, flee out of the midst of Babylon. What that means is, because, you had people saying, we got to get up out of America. We got to get on a boat and go to Africa. No. Like what I was just saying, we got to be pilgrims on the earth, right? But you got to have that pilgrim mindset right now, meaning that whatever you have here, you got to be willing to give it up. Whatever we have here, you can't be too invested in it. You can't be too set on what you have in Babylon the Great, to the point to where, it's gone. You got a fork in the road when shit hit the fan. All right, should I go here and try and keep what I got here, or should I just go the Lord's way? Nah. It's only one path. You got to burn them ships. You got to burn those ships, right? I said this in another video not too long ago. When you come into this truth, you got to burn the ships, meaning that ain't no turning back to where you came from. Ain't no turning back to Christianity, Islam, or just being in the world. Ain't no turning back to that. Well, at this day and time, you got to burn them ships again. You're going to have a new set of ships that you got to burn. And that new set of ships is called the luxuries of this life, or, the things that I'm trying to say it right? Because the first burning of the ships is spiritual. The second burning of the ships, it's still spiritual, but it's on another level, right? Because now you're physically giving up all of these things that we have here in the world. You're physically giving up, your apartment, your car, your job, all of these things. So you got to burn them ships 2 times. But right now, you got to be in the mindset of being willing and ready to do that when the time comes. Because this place ain't coming back, man. Babylon the Great ain't coming back, right? Verse 7, it says, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. if so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies, right? It says, forsake her, forsake Babylon the Great, forsake this country, man, forsake this place. It ain't nothing in here no way, man. Right? Because, you got a lot of people who, they want riches and everything like that. Shit, not even just riches. Like, you want, shit, just to have a good savings, a good job, a good savings, a decent place to live and everything like that, right? Even then, even having, just some regular desires like that, man, it's like, it's corrupted, man. It's corrupted, right? Here it is, you trying to save money and it's like you got to take money, you got to put money into this and you got to put money into that. Bills coming up, all this stuff is piling up on you, and you got your paycheck and you put some money away, but then you end up spending that money because you got to pay for all this other shit that you got to pay for, and groceries is getting more expensive. You know what I'm saying? You're getting taxed out the wazoo. I seen something in GTA the other day. They taxing you on GTA. It's a fucking devil, man. How you gonna tax a nigga on a video game, right? But this is why we gotta forsake this place, as the scriptures say. We gotta forsake Babylon, man. We can't be invested in a system of wickedness, man. That's what this place is. It's just a system of wickedness, right? And a wicked system is eventually gonna fail. And we're at that failing point, right? We're at the breaking point of this wicked system. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 4. It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, and double unto her double according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled to her double, right? So these Edomites, Babylon the Great, right? It's going to be double destruction for them, right? First and foremost, this place is going to be decimated, obliterated. I'm going to look up some new words for destruction. I need to find some new words and expand my vocabulary in that area. But yeah, man, this place is going to be obliterated, decimated, destroyed, right? Then once we've been entered into the kingdom, you Edomites, you going to get fucked up. You going to get destroyed, right? But nonetheless, in that same kingdom, we're going to have peace. Righteousness is going to be abound, right? The world is going to be set back in order. The food is going to be back food again. Food is going to be back fooding. You know what I'm saying? The water going to be back watering how it's supposed to be, clean, nutritious water, nutritious food, real food, right? The atmosphere is going to be restored. The air is going to be restored, right? And life is going to be vibrant again, man, right? Life is going to be enjoyable again for us as Israelites, right? So that's what we're supposed to look for. That's what we're supposed to be focused on, not this place, right? I was driving yesterday and I was listening to the brother Mar Lawyer, the head of the Kansas City camp. I was listening to a video and he mentioned something about you see all this haze or whatever, and this shit is chemicals. And I'm driving, and I was thinking that before he said it, but I'm like, bro, why is it like so? Why does it look so fucking hazy? And then it's nighttime now, and I'm driving, and we got it's still kind of a full moon, and the moon is shining, but it's like it's a haze under the moon, and I'm like, bro, what the? But it's no clouds though. There's no clouds or nothing. It's just a haze under the moon. And I remember back in 2022 when they said it was a wildfire in Canada, and it was real hazy then too during the summer. Now I'm seeing man, shit wasn't from the wildfire, man. Yeah, this devil spraying these chemicals, this devil putting all this bullshit in the atmosphere, it's putting all this bullshit in the air, man. And this is why we got to get out here. Get out of here, man. This motherfucker he doing experiments on the people, doing experiments on society and shit like that, man, for his own wickedness, man, for his own wicked game, right? So that's why we got to get out of Babylon the Great, man. That's why we got to get out of here, right? But this was going to happen to Babylon. Call her Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 8. Remove out of the midst of Babylon and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans and be as the he-goats before the flocks. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man, Salakia. None shall return in vain. That's them nukes, baby. It's them nukes, right? Verse 10, and Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord. Because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass, and bellow as bulls. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished, and hiss at her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon, round about, all ye that bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. Shot against her round about, she hath given her hand, her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance upon her, as she hath done, do unto her. Right, call her Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right? So this is it, man. This is it, man. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is going to bring great destruction, right, from these other nations, right? The EU nations, the NATO nations are going to turn on Babylon, and we're seeing that now. And what's going to happen, which is what these scriptures are talking about, they're going to unleash every last arrow, which is a nuclear missile, right? All of the warheads are going to be unleashed on Babylon the Great. In this place, that's what's going to bring the utter destruction, decimation, obliteration of this place, right? Let's go to ChatGPT. Let's do this now. Come on, man. I'm pressing the fucking C. Fingers ain't that big. What are 10 other words that I can use for obliterated? Let's expand our vocabulary. Annihilate, eradicate, exterminate, decimate. I said that. Demolish, devastate, pulverize, raise, wipe out, extinguish, eviscerate, neutralize, crush, vanquish, liquidate. This place is going to be liquidated, man, literally. His place is going to be eviscerated, right? Give me 10 more for biblical use. Let's see what it says. Consume, destroy, devour, cut off, overthrow, lay waste, bring to decimation, smite, root out. Okay, let me just... For obliterate. I'm trying to find some new words, you know. Abolish, expunge, exterminate, purge, uproot, undo, ruin, shatter, vanquish. Okay. Some of these words I knew, I just couldn't think of. Okay. Extirpate, to root out and destroy complete. Babylon is going to be extirpated. Right? But kind, man. Yeah, I believe y'all get the point, though. Right? Okay. We're going to do some more, right? But anyway, man, with that, Lord willing, this video lesson was edifying. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chakwadash. And until next time, Shalom.